Okay, so she wants to start off by talking about the presidents that are out there, as if that's not controversial enough out there.
Okay, no,
People are, I'm going to say beforehand, people are very strongly this way or that way. So this is guaranteed to offend many people,
or
probably on both
everybody.
sides. By the time that we're
Let's just
done,
defend
everybody's going to be
everybody.
offended. So, me, no intent, and I don't look badly on anybody for whichever way that you look, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or somewhere in between, or somewhere outside completely. No judgment. We just have our own opinions. I have my own opinion. So go ahead.
I think they're both idiots.
Okay, they're both
They
idiots.
are both
That's
idiots.
that's great.
Come on, people. This is America. Look at the billions of people that live here. How did these two people end up being our final picks? I want to know.
Okay, so that being the case, I will bring up the fact that we put them there. The people that we brought
How
into
did we
government
put
to do
them
their
there?
jobs, we're the ones that put them there. Because plenty of other people can try to be president and have tried to be
Okay,
president that have
but
put themselves up. We ended up with Trump and Biden. Those are the ones that
here's the
ended up.
deal. It's like whoever has money can run, right? Where are the good people that maybe don't have as much money, that have little, that are good people that are wanting to run, wanting to make this country better? Like there's good on both sides. There's some good qualities on both sides, but come on. I mean, look at all the bad that people have to say about both of them too. Now, no matter what, there's going to be bad said about somebody who's running for president. Don't get me wrong. But seriously, guys, and shouldn't there be like an age limit? I know there's an age limit for
Okay,
when you
no,
can be
let me
president,
say
like
first before you
35.
keep jumping topics here. Let me just say that a lot of people do try to be president in there. So it's not just these two people that are going up to be president. Local people that try to go up and try to go up to be president. Anybody can try to be president. The last couple of years, we haven't had much to choose from. I guess that's Trump's in both of those. But
Publicity
we
and
had
money. It gets you there.
Clinton and stuff. So we went from people like, I don't know, Reagan and stuff like that, that actually had good qualities that would talk about how great it is and people wanted them there, to the last couple elections, we're voting for the lesser of two evils that no one really wants either one. I think it was with Hillary and Donald that everybody was saying anybody but those two. Those were the bumper stickers that
Now,
were going on out there.
I loved the meme on that one. That had the little kid, the little blonde kid with the head of Trump and a head of Hillary, and he was like just really disappointed in both of them. You remember that meme?
I don't remember that one. That sounded like, was
It's
there blood dripping off? Was
no,
this
no, no, no. It was just like the choices we had, and he had this sad little face, and he's
right?
like, "Yeah, that's so true." It's like,
It's gonna be one or the other.
can we not get
So
more people,
now
like
that being said, I'm going to
real
tell you
people?
my opinion, and she might disagree, is that neither one of us have done a lot of research on Trump or Biden. We're going off of the headlines that we see and the clips of stuff that we saw. I saw some of the most recent debate. I saw the whole debate.
Okay,
That was embarrassing.
I've
Everybody.
done a bit of research on both of them. Like I'm not totally into reading every little article and every little thing, but I do read lots of articles and things
Okay.
on things, random things, sometimes presidential, sometimes other stuff. But it's like I know people want good for this country. I know everybody that's going out there to vote wants something good. They have an agenda they want fulfilled in this next election. They want things done. But I want to know, like, why? Why are they both in their 70s? Why did we pick? I mean, it's not I'm not against people that are older, but it's like normally somebody in the United States, like the retirement age is 65, and my stepfather, he works and he's older than that right now, but it's like if we're going to have somebody as our president, like it seems like we would want somebody a little bit younger maybe.
Okay, so that's what she says, but I think that it doesn't matter if they're younger or older. If they're the right one for the job, they're the right one for the job. It really doesn't matter. The age doesn't mean that somebody is qualified for the job. And along that fact means that it doesn't matter how old they are. If they're 90 years old, but they've got the right idea on how to do it right, then I don't care about the age. If they're 16 years old, for goodness sakes, not that there would be, but if there
Well,
was and they had the right ideas, I'm all for giving them a shot.
all right, in the what do you call it?
I don't call it anything.
All right. In the requirements for being a president, I believe it's 35 is the minimum age. 35. That's
With everything going on, that's going to change. I'm telling you now, that's going to change. All right.
And I believe it still states in there that you're supposed to be a man, which I do believe a woman could do just as good of a job.
Right.
But, like, seriously, there should be a retirement age for when you are president. I think it's like, okay,
But we're putting these people in here.
we are.
So if we're all saying that's the one that we want, we know their age
I
before we
don't
say that's
think
the one we want.
everybody, I mean, I've seen comments and people, it's like, they're like, are you serious? This is such a joke. This is like comical that these two came down to the final two.
Right. That's
the final
democracy for
two
you.
that America chose.
That's
it's like there
democracy.
is better. Can we start again?
Who
Can
do
we
you
start
want?
again?
Who you want?
I want better candidates
No,
so
no,
we can choose.
forget
a
about that. There's been
whole
tons of
ballot
candidates.
of
If you
people.
do any research, there's plenty of people that didn't make it that far.
I know.
So which ones? Which ones do you want? Which ones have you seen? Which any ones do you want?
I haven't seen one that
Okay.
I thought, wow, that's amazing, that's great. But then again, usually when it's me, it's like you get down to the final couple for each party before you look and before you, okay, because it's not like everybody,
I haven't been that involved, but it does seem like the last time there was like 12 people up there for the Republican Party that were doing the debate, and it seems like it lasted for a while where they were dropping off one by one, almost like it was one of those Survivor TV shows or something.
now
where
see,
one drops
the
off and one
last
drops
election
off.
before this one, the one when Trump was
Yeah,
elected,
that's when
this
Ted
last
Cruz
president,
was there. That's when
yes.
another Bush
And
was in there.
Now, oh my gosh, we really don't need another Bush, guys. Like seriously, I have nothing against Bushes. Like
Nope, everybody only needs one, trust me. More than that is way too
enough.
much. Way
Okay,
too much.
No, as far as presidential candidates though, it was like, yeah, obviously not one that I would have chose. Okay, the Bush, what Junior, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, not one of my top candidates. But as far as the Republican Party, I did think that there was a few in there last time where it's like, you know what, I could see that guy.
Most people
Or
were all
even
for
in
Ted Cruz. I think Ted Cruz
I
lost,
thought he would've been
honestly,
good.
because of his relation to the Zodiac Killer that everybody's going around. A joke, yes, but I think people took it a little too seriously. I think that hurt him. Because the media
But
has
see,
so much more control than
He
people realize
wanted
on
to
this.
cut taxes. He wanted to get rid of the IRS. He had a lot of good ideas. Now maybe IRS wasn't a good thing to get rid of. I don't know.
That's a
but
little
there was
extreme.
there was a lot of things he wanted to do that he really truly thought would help the government or help things be better. Okay.
You know what? Well-
So same thing with the Democratic Party though. It seemed like there was more people running, more opponents that had better potential, and then we ended up with Hillary. And it's like, of all the ones running for the
It almost
Democratic
seemed-
Party, it's just made me sad that
I will say
Hillary was
that
it.
it almost seems like there's some people in just in Congress that specifically pick out those people regardless of what the mass public wants. It seems like the mass public might be leaning towards this way or that way, but there's a few people in Congress that kind of push those couple of people up because I mean honestly, when you look at it, when it came down to Trump and Hillary and all those memes and everybody saying, why did it have to be these two? Obviously, the general public did not want either of those two to be the final candidates. So once they came up to it, so that's pretty factual at that point,
It is pretty fast.
right? Should have been probably somebody else. Should have been somebody else.
I mean, it would have been more interesting, definitely, if we had got some.
I had some hopes with Trump though, but I will tell you this. Here's a lesson that I probably didn't learn. I'll forget tomorrow, but. If somebody's going in there saying they're going to get rid of the IRS, if somebody's getting in there saying we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it, these are some big things that I guarantee you once they get into office, they're not going to do. That's a little too big. I want to say the biggest change that I saw that somebody actually did, that I don't even think he was allowed to within the rights or anything, was Obama doing the Obamacare thing. That was a huge thing that I didn't think would ever actually be a real thing that went into process. I think some rules were broken to get that into process, but that was probably the biggest change that I've seen people do.
Well, I don't know that it was like against the law to have Obamacare. It's like people voted him in for that.
I realize that, but I think that it had to pass certain people, and then I think he used executive order. I read a lot of headlines. I don't do a lot of research, so don't judge me on that. But it seems like it had something to do with there was some stuff that was executive order that didn't quite pass Congress, but he passed it anyways to get it finalized.
I do believe there were some different things that went on there to get it passed. I wasn't for Obamacare. Like, seriously, I wasn't. At that time, it was very much financial reasons. It's like people can't
Oh
afford
yeah,
healthcare
we
anyway.
absolutely
It's
couldn't
going to
afford
go
it.
up. It's definitely going to go up. And of course, everybody's seen the recourse of that. Healthcare has gone up. Yes, there are a few people that were able to get reduced rates or even free, maybe. I don't know.
That was the hard
But
part.
that's what,
There were people that got it for free already, right? There were people that got it for free already because of their income, and that's fine. We had a lot going on financially, bills and everything, that where we couldn't afford it, so we didn't have it. It was as simple as that. We couldn't afford it, we didn't have it, we suffered because we didn't have it. Being forced to have it and pay the money towards it when we didn't have the money to put towards it, especially when people are getting it for free out there, and it's not against them. I wish them the best for having it, but I shouldn't get forced to have to pay for it.
you know,
That was the hard part.
my whole deal with that was, okay, the reason why I did not want mandated health care was because I wanted to be self-sufficient and support myself and my family, which we'd always done. We'd always done that. And it's like the mandate was forcing me to get something where it was literally at that time my house payment or health care because I didn't want to rely on the government. It's like I shouldn't have to go into a position where I have to accept help from a government to get by. And it's like if it was a set process where it was more like Canada's, that where it's like everybody has the health care and everybody pays into it and everything. And I know that's kind of where they were going with it, but it didn't start off that way. It was a poorly set plan, and it was just kind of, I think, thrown together so fast just so they said they could do it. So it would be done. And there was a lot of people I know were negatively affected by it because
That could be.
of that. Like,
I feel like we're getting off into the weeds, way off into the
yeah.
side.
Anyway, so Obamacare was not a fan, basically.
Right. Going back to the current candidates that we have now, I'm not even going to say I would vote for either one of them right now just because I don't know enough about them. But that debate that I saw, I'm not talking about Mike Pence and the that debate. I'm talking about Trump and Biden. That was just horrible. I had a hard time watching that. Just having common respect for other people in general, I thought was lacking in there. Between all three parties, it seems like there was too much power in everybody's heads. Yeah, even the moderator that was there,
Okay.
right? Everybody wanted the power. So, yeah, I didn't like that.
That's what's depressing. And it's like, I believe from what I hear, like I saw bits and I saw people posting that watched the whole thing and it was just like a joke. It was probably, I don't know, weeks after people were still commenting on posts that people had made. And it's just like,
I just saw a Saturday Night Live skit a little bit ago. Watched most of that, and even that was more organized than what actually happened in the debates. That was pretty funny, but even that was more organized. It looked a little too
don't
clean.
you think as far as a presidential campaign, election, you're putting yourself out there. Don't you think you would want to look like intelligent and put together enough to where you look distinguished in front of the American people, in front of
Intelligent,
us?
respectable, empathetic, sympathetic.
Very much so,
Something
right?
like that you care for the people.
And it's like I heard of Donald Trump and how he degraded Biden's son, and Biden
Right.
wasn't even talking about that son. And it's like, okay, first of all, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done. It's like, if you are running for president, if you're running for any campaign at all, it's like, really, leave the kids out of it. It's like everybody has their challenges. Everybody has their struggles in life. The parents are not their children. And even still, if
Well, in general, negative campaigning is no good. You want to say something good that you're going to do, then say something good that you're going to do and what you're fighting for. I hate when they go into the campaigning of this is why he's bad. I don't want to hear why he's bad. I want to hear why you're good. That's where it gets
but
just
even
nasty.
even still, it's like Biden's son, okay, he had a problem at one point with drugs. That doesn't mean Biden taught him to do drugs. I mean, like, really? And Biden was saying
He was
how he was
attacking his
actually
parenting.
okay, but he was even still, my mom is a great mother, and she's not responsible for the bad things I've done, the bad things my other brothers and sisters have done. They've grown up, they've moved out. It's like
People in general.
if any of them have any sort of problems, which, everybody has their problems, it's not because of my mom. It's like, now, maybe other people, but we won't get into that. It's like, okay, so somebody has a problem. They go, they do drugs. They get addicted. Okay, you know what? I understand. This not my cup of tea, but somebody did that. They chose to go on their own, to get rehabilitated, to get straight with their life, and Biden was very proud of his son for doing so. And it's like, to bring something like that into a campaign, oh yeah, well, your son. So what? So what? His son got clean. His son is probably doing great now. I don't know.
So,
but
and in
it's
general,
not
that's just the
something-
negative campaigning is not good for sure.
No, very against that. It's like, me personally, I have stated to many people, I don't like either one of them. I do not feel I could go out and vote
Right?
and feel at peace with either one of them.
Very much so. So yeah, I'm not a big fan either way. I'm curious to see which way it goes. I think that'll have an effect on a lot of other things. But we are on differences of, I don't think age should play a difference. I don't think that should make a difference on there. I think if you're qualified, you're qualified. I think maybe we're all just a little, I should say we're all, maybe it's because some people are just a little lazy in there as to how we got who we got. People aren't voting, people aren't going out there and letting their voice be heard in certain things, and some people are going overboard with letting their voice be heard. It should be the mass population that are making the decisions, not the loudest person that's screaming in the streets or something.
Well, if we all had the exact same ability to campaign, like proper campaign, it didn't matter if you had money. It's like, okay, these are the 10 candidates from this state that
Right.
are wanting to run for president. So each news station has to allow the same amount of time, or each TV station has to allow the same amount of time for ads. It's like, it should be like, okay, these people, since they are
Well,
running
marketing
for,
has nothing to do with it, though. As long as your name's out there.
your name's out there, but still, it's like the publicity. That's how you get notified. That's how you get noticed, and so how people know what you are for.
If you're talking about just people knowing what it's for, you can have a website and you can have people know
You
what it's
can,
for, and then they
but
can do the
how
research.
how are people going to actually know? Okay, this person's running. I need to look up this website. I mean, obviously, you need to
There's-
be out there.
Well, no, there could be as simple, and there probably is even just a website out there that shows who's campaigning, and you can click a
There
button to
is,
see their
yes.
information, what they
There
like
is.
and what they don't
How
like.
many people actually go to that though? How many
Exactly.
people actually?
But what you're talking about is a popularity contest. Who can have the biggest and brightest colors and advertising
how
and balloons
people
and
get-
everything? That's not why you're going to be president. Is because you have
But
the
that's how
biggest
you get
balloons.
there. That's how you
That's
get
not
there.
how you get
The
there.
money, the financing behind it, definitely. That's how you get there.
That's a large part of how you get you out there, public and marketing and everything.
Yes.
So you can tell everybody, I'm great, I'm great. Let's have a parade about me, I'm great. That shouldn't be how it works, though.
That is how it works.
That's how you got
Right now,
Trump and Biden.
That's how you got Trump and Biden, because they
Yes.
both have money,
The
and they're both like,
solution
look
is
at
not,
me, look at me.
Okay, well, the solution is not give other people the big balloons and parades. The solution is everybody do their research on a website or something, so it doesn't take all that money to get you out there. Right?
But
Modesty
see, the
and
American
humility.
public,
That's
okay,
how you get there.
here's the thing. The American public, yes, they want who's good. They want the best, right? Everybody wants what's best, hopefully. Unless you're a terrorist and you're like, okay, I'm going to come and vote for the worst, evilest person. So
Mm-hmm.
I can destroy this country by voting for one of them.
That's true.
But fact of the matter is, we all go to work. We all come home. We're all tired. We don't have the time to go and research day after day after day, see new candidates,
Well,
see...
that's what needs to be done. You want it placed in front of you? I just want an ad.
Yes,
to be
I want it
I want
placed
an
in
ad
front of me.
forced in front of my screen when I didn't even ask for it. And then if I get enough of those with that one person, that's who I'm voting for.
The thing is people remember names. When
There you
names
go.
are embedded in your
But you
head,
understand,
then
based
you,
off that
you go to
theory-
the polls and you're like, oh yeah, I know that person.
Yeah.
I know that person. I
So
like
based
what
off
they
your
stood
theory,
for.
it doesn't even matter if you're qualified or not. You just got to be popular.
If you're
You're
out
talking
there
about you
enough,
want somebody that's
if you're
qualified.
out there enough, then you are going to be more known than anybody else, and so you have a
Yes.
better
It's a
chance
popularity
of becoming
contest.
the next.
But that has
president.
nothing to do with actual qualifications. Has nothing to
No,
do with
it doesn't.
qualifications.
And from
so
the
do you want
time I
somebody
was-
that's qualified or you want somebody that's most popular?
From the time I was very little, my mom had me going out door to door campaigning for
Right.
all kinds of people. Democrat, Republican. She wanted who was best regardless of their stance.
Right.
And mostly it was leaning towards the Republican Party, but there were Democrats in there too. It's like, I've done research. I've been there. I've looked. But I'm saying as a whole, as the United States, we all don't have the time to go into
Yes.
depth in research. I mean, because it takes a lot of research to know every single candidate and what every single candidate is for. It takes a lot to do that.
Of course. So what do you want then? Because that's literally what you have to do to get the best candidate, to get the people that are qualified to be up there. What you're saying is, I still want the popularity contest and just people to just be popular and up there. I just hope
I'm not
somebody
saying that.
along the
I'm saying,
lines
like,
is,
they
let me
should have
finish.
it.
Then I just want somebody along the lines to do research to make sure that person's qualified before they get that popular. And then we're good, right?
Okay, for your information, obviously Trump had not had experience in politics before, which I do believe that people that aren't
No, he didn't
necessarily
get there for his qualifications
Right.
on politics. He got there for his qualifications in business, which is one of his big deals, and the marketing. The marketing is huge, and I'm not saying it's not. It
Okay.
absolutely is. That's what needs to change.
or there needs to be the same amount of marketing
So who's paying
available
for
to
that?
everybody.
So who's paying for that? So are you saying they need to limit everybody else's marketing so you can't go out and do this? Or somebody else has to foot the bill because Joe Blow wants to run for president. So somebody needs to pay the bill for him to be
Okay,
marketed.
so we spend billions upon billions upon billions of dollars for
Trillions.
this country. Like trillions, yes. Trillions.
Probably zillions.
All
We
right.
just don't know
So
yet.
if we're spending all that money when people get into their positions, whether it be Congress, the House of Representatives, president, vice president, whatever, don't you think that it would only be fair that every single person running for president or whatever had the same publicity? I think, honestly, to see actual real good candidates,
So-
that I wouldn't mind my tax money going to see all of them equally in front of my face. So each one of them either had, I don't know, 5-10 minutes
So
a
if you're
day
saying-
worth of.
No, if you're saying each one of them, and anybody could at that point in time, and everybody was going to be put on TV, I guarantee you hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people
But
would be
see,
going
that's the
into
thing.
it, and they would all be on the TV. It would take you all year just to show all their information.
No, because first of all, they go state by state, and each state decides, okay, we want this many people. Like, let's say California. Say they had 10 people that were qualified, that were very dignified people that had
Wait,
experience
now you're
in
saying
whatever.
that the state has to vote for somebody in their state, so 10 people from California?
Well, okay, so through election process, it's like,
That's kind of jacked up. So
What?
then, because I may be here, but that doesn't mean I'm going to vote for somebody here and I'm going to find somebody locally.
No,
I might
but
have
what
my
I'm
eye on
saying
somebody
is like-
somewhere else.
Oh,
We're just
okay,
saying every
but
state
here-
has to
here
have a
you
certain
go.
amount.
each state has their representatives, correct? So why don't we have a few people from each state representing their state for presidential elections? Then let's say 5, 3, whatever, however many people from certain states, let's say some don't even make it, they're like, oh no, but then those people get a little bit of broadcasting, and then people can cut them out and narrow it down, kind of like American Idol.
Maybe it's
So if
governors.
it's more like American Idol or like Survivor, we get to actually see their personality, see what they do when they're put in situations, and then we can narrow it down and be like,
I've
okay,
said
this
that
is the
before.
winner.
I'm okay with that. You do the American Idol where everybody has to go audition in front of a camera and they have to show them. But again, there's going to be too many. There's going to be too many, just like American Idol. You think you saw everybody that applied on American Idol? And that's
No.
just American Idol. That's not even president. You think you saw everybody?
But then
they
at the
cut
same
so
time-
many. So who's making the cuts on that to show the 5 people that got on versus the 500 that day
Okay,
that they
at
didn't?
the same time, in the beginning, they go state to state, right? For American Idol. They went
Mm-hmm.
state to state and they chose groups of people, and not even necessarily state to state. It's like a region, a section of the United States.
Keyword on that is they chose who was going to
Yeah.
be at their thing.
Okay. But here's the deal, okay? So we elect officials to choose from the people in our own state.
Well,
Okay.
we kind of already, that's kind of how we already have
Yeah,
things set
what
up.
I'm saying is for like an American Idol, all right? So we have our own American Idol in our area for people we want to go
Okay.
to be president.
So this is going a little bit weird, but I will tell you this, even though I think that that's not real accurate the way that's going, it's leading more towards the way the system already works. But if we took it and the debates, instead of the debates and everything, we did make it more like American Idol.
But
then
I'm saying to
that would work
narrow
out
it
better.
down, to narrow it down for people who represented those areas.
I do believe that would make it easier. So even still, at least we're looking at still more of a majority. So it won't be just 5 people, and then it'll go down to 2 people before we even knew it.
But then too, it's
So
like,
there'd be more people on there. I don't think that I still say that maybe humility is the way to go, but if we're going to make everybody a star, then that is still a better way to do it, is the American Idol method.
well, no, it's not making everybody a star. It's seeing all candidates,
understand
see
the
how
point
they
I'm
act, see
making.
they react in situations.
But we just
see if we
identified you
want that
can't
person
see
representing America.
But you can't see all candidates. There would be hundreds and
You
hundreds.
can, but when it gets narrowed down
Well,
to
no,
a certain
how can
few,
you? How can you see the hundreds and hundreds? You just said you're way too busy to look at a few
But
articles
it's
on the
like,
internet.
okay, if it was like American Idol, people watch that show. If it was like something people would watch, you get to see them in their
How
action,
about this
in
one?
how they would
How about this
react.
one? How about the next president has to be a governor of one of the states? So every time there's always, 50-something people up there. I don't know if we're counting
Wouldn't
like...
have to be governor. But here's
Puerto
but
Rico and
if
other
we
places
if
like
we
that, but-
narrowed it down
So, hey,
to the top 50,
Who
everybody
is narrowing
chooses.
it down?
Each state is narrowing it down to their own or a couple of their own or something, and that's when
So
it
again,
goes
then you're
to
saying the
people
state
voting.
has to
People
vote for their own people.
Yes,
So I'm not allowed to vote for anybody in any other state.
but you get to choose somebody from your state,
No,
then when it gets
you can't say you get to. That's like saying I'm forcing you.
no.
So I can't vote for anybody
Okay,
else?
wait,
No, you
no.
get to only choose somebody from your state. Your
That's
state has to
like-
pick your state.
That's what you do with your senators. That's what you do with the House of Representatives. You yourself in that state choose them, okay? That's how we get people in those positions. If
Those
we
are people
did
that
that,
are going up for candidacy in that area.
yes. So, but if you go for candidacy and you want to be president, then you run in your region,
So let's
your
go with
area.
So why not governors?
Why not governors?
Yeah, there's your American Idol. Those are the freaking finalists. It's all the governors go up, they get
No.
interviewed. We have to get some backstory there.
Because-
Cameras are going to follow them around. And then everybody going up to be a governor has to do a good job because those are the ones that are going to be the potentials for the presidents.
No.
And it's a good amount of people.
No. It's like, I think, because then you're rolling out already a bunch of people. You're already ruling out any other possible.
Okay.
What if there's a judge? What if there's a lawyer who would be amazing?
How about this then? And anybody can run. Anybody can run. But those are the people that the money's already going to go to
What do you mean?
for marketing.
It should be narrowed down by area, and then those people
It
should
is.
go.
That's who should be governor. They're narrowing it down right there. The governors. That is the community already voting for that governor to be in
To
charge of that
run their
state.
area.
To run that whole state.
Again, that area.
So boom, that's already their choice to run things. So it's just like you said. It's just like you said.
Here's the
'Cause
deal.
everybody voted for that person to be in
You
charge of that state.
needed-
Now why
you
wouldn't they
needed
choose
people to
that
be a
same
governor.
person?
You need people to be a governor. You need people for that.
That's when they want in
You
charge.
also need people for a president. So you wouldn't want to take the person that's already a governor. You wouldn't want to take them and make them president.
They're the best ones for the job, but we already have them being a governor, so we need to choose somebody else for president.
No, I'm not
This
saying
is the best person,
while
so we
you're
want them for the
actually
state.
running as a governor, no, because that is your job. If you finish being a governor, you're not going to run for governor anymore, then that position's open, but you shouldn't take somebody that's
because then
already
you're
there.
old and you don't want anybody old to be president.
No,
If they're so old that
you
they're not
can-
doing it anymore, they can't be president.
When you are in the position of being a governor, and you stop being a governor, that doesn't mean you're necessarily old. And I'm just saying,
No, you could have got fired.
you're older.
Presidency, here we come.
No, you vote people in to
Who
be
cares about
a
a
governor.
sex scandal
you
anymore?
vote people in to be a governor. Okay?
Yes.
They have terms. When that term is up, then they're like, okay, I'm going to run for president. I'm going to run for president over this area. Okay? Like, and then people say, yes, I want this person. They've done good so far.
All right, so you're on
Then
the same
everybody
page.
does
That's what
that.
we're talking
and
about.
then it narrows down like the American Idol, where everybody in the U.S., and they'll call on their phones or they'll text the numbers in or whatever, and then it'll narrow down to the final ones. And then it'll be like, first runner up
All right.
is president, second runner up is vice president.
So we
There
are a
will be
nation
no
that
more
are
Democrat
we are
or
lazy,
Republican.
we are
It's-
entitled, and All right, so we're lazy, we're entitled, we want instant gratification. So no big long lists of this is what I want to do and this is why and everything else where it's pages and pages. No, I want one sentence with small words, no big words that's going to say what this guy wants.
People need to understand
I
it.
like dogs. No more neutering dogs, right? Equal rights for pigeons. It needs to be a simple sentence that everybody can understand, and that's what it's going to be. They're going to have like 10 bullet points each, and that's it. No reading long articles or anything else. Something quick and simple, right? This is what they're going off of. Build a wall, right? Make Mexico pay, right?
Like
That's
we
it.
ever thought that would happen. Come on.
Obamacare. That's it. There's these one words, these one sentences, these one-liners, and that's going to be their tagline.
Make America great again.
There you go. Right? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Right? That's what's going to take us there.
No,
These
I-
one-liners, that's what everybody's going to want to see and read. I read headlines. I don't even read articles anymore. That's how lazy I am. I'm going to read the headline, and then I know everything that's
I
going on.
love
'cause I read
reading the
headlines.
articles. The articles are interesting. And then I get smarter because I know more words.
That's great, but what articles does she know? What has she told us? Well, I don't want to hear you recite an article. That's way off into the weeds, right? But how much reading have you done about the presidents that are out there that you just insulted at their intelligence?
I've done it. I've done a bit.
All right. I've only seen headlines and I've watched the debate, and obviously everything I read on Facebook is real and true, right?
Of course,
All
I
those
mean-
memes. See, the way I look at it is all those memes, if there's enough memes about the same thing, then it had to come from a true source because it's spread out and that many people are making fun of
See,
it.
now I'm the one who I will look up and try and find where that source came from. Where did they get that idea? Is that
It's
true?
not going to be near as entertaining as the meme you're looking at.
Obviously.
Right?
That's why we like memes, right?
Serious.
It's
I
funny,
didn't even
it's
watch.
short.
I didn't watch the vice presidential debate, but I know, just like the rest of the world knows, that there was a fly on Mike Pence's head, right? Don't
There
know
was.
anything else about how it went except for I seen
Full of
lots of
crap.
pictures about big flies on Mike Pence's head. I think Saturday Night Live. I didn't see it, but I think they did a skit about flies chilling on his head. So yes, what else really matters? Do you really need the details after that? You know all you need to know to make your decision.
Everybody already decided he's full of crap. So,
Right.
the fly was on his head.
There you go.
Probably not true. I mean, I'm just joking
All
there.
right. Now, I think we've gone way too deep into this and way too far. I think this is already too long, but what do you think?
Have a good night, people.
All right. We're off.